You clicked on the thumbnail. You saw my face. You saw some words. You took a chance. Who am I? I'm Nicolas Polimenakos, aka Sparkles of Gold. I'm going to talk about the transits from October 17th to October 22nd, an October mid-month update. I'm not going to use any stock footage. I'm not going to do fast editing and quick whatever. I am going to talk fast for at least 15 more seconds to hold you in place, to look into my eyes and go, who the hell is this guy? What's he have to say? I'm going to give his damn ass a chance. Well, thank you. Let's talk about the transits. Well, on this chart here, this is October 17th, 2022. Why am I starting here on the Monday? Well, because we have good old Venus at 23 degrees, getting closer to the sun. And one of the major aspects of the year that's about to happen in several days here is Venus going in and melting with the sun. Venus is going to melt. Doesn't that sound good? It is. It's scary for a lot of you, and it can be scary for some of you who have in your Libra part of your chart. Don't be scared. Let go. Why? Let's have the setup. Venus, 23 degrees, on the way to doing this. Monday is making a harmonious, beautiful conversation and flow with Mars and Gemini. Listen, these are both air signs. If this was happening in fire signs, you're going to hear about passion and hotness and getting together and even the physicalness. Or even if it was an earth signs, you're going to hear that. It's an air signs. It's all in the head, isn't it? It's all talking. Partly, yes, but it is hot, actually. You take what you can with the relating with Venus and the harmonization in Libra that she is doing and the way she's relating to Mars and Gemini, which is going from here to there more than ever. Mars pushing but slowing down, because it's about to go retrograde at the end of the month. And Mars here is flowing with Venus. They got their flow. Remember these days this week. Remember the last several days with Mars, Saturn that was happening that set this up. Because Mars, soon enough, is going to have its own interesting journey on the seas of illusion in retrograde. That's going to happen all the way into the beginning of next year. Remember these degrees of 20, 23, 22, 24. That wasn't in order, I know that. But remember these degrees because Mars is going to go back over them. But for now, Venus and Mars are flowing. Libra and Gemini are happy. They're having dinner. They're talking. They have ideas. They're getting high off the ideas. And there's this little sparkle in their eyes. And all of a sudden, it gets silent and quiet. Because air signs actually do that. And they listen to each other's heartbeat. And there, the relating and the mystery hits a deeper level. So don't let anybody tell you that air signs aren't capable, or they aren't sexy or hot, or don't have a passion. It just starts off in a different way and ends up in the same place it does for everybody else. Quote me on it. Tip number 1. Bring all the heady energy and make sure you move it through your body, into your heart, all the way down to that lower chakra and all the way back. I'm telling you, it works. Venus, 23 degrees. Mars, 24 degrees. It's flowing. October 17th. October 18th, it's exact. Venus, 24 degrees, you see here. Mars, 24. It's happening on the Tuesday here, Pacific West Coast time. And it's flowing. You could see the sun at 25 degrees here, inching to the next day, which when everything starts to shift. So remember the good times, remember the conversations, and write this stuff down because it's going to come back. And there's another element in another chapter in the story. And at this moment, we have Moon and Leo. Hey, thank you, Moon and Leo. I see you. You're amazing. You look great, by the way. Let me give you a hug. Have you eaten yet? You fire signs and the moon, when the moon's in fire signs and these fire signs don't eat, they get grumpy. Make sure they eat. Make sure they're acknowledged. I see you, beautiful Leo, how you shine so bright. Without you and that light, the flowers would not grow. So we get into the next day. I will get to the 19th, and now we get something that's been secretly building. And I talk about secrets here is because Venus is at 25 degrees here, and it's making a relationship with Pluto at 26 degrees. Now Venus was just flowing with Mars here, but now there isn't the flow. Venus has this square off with Pluto, and Pluto's goal is to get rid of or unearth what does not work anymore. On a subconscious level, from the modernist astrological perspective, that's the simple way to put it. You're going to hear the words transformations. I'm going to use shedding of skin, death and rebirth process, real conversation, real relating. On the heavier side, power struggles between Venus and Pluto. Pluto and Capricorn is about structure and wanting to be the authority on the subject and laying down the law. And this is the way it's got to go. And then Venus and Libra is all about harmonization. I don't like the way you're talking. I don't like the way it feels. But there's a reason for this. And in the end, my perspective is Venus here needs some of that structure. And the actual structure in this case is the setup for what happens in the next couple days. It's another door that's open to Venus's story this year about getting rid of older habits when it comes to relating and letting them go, and in order to move through and transform to bring something new in. Whether you like it or not, this is the story in the Venus, in the Libra part of your chart, and in the Capricorn part of your chart when these two are relating. Earlier this year, in the beginning of the year, we had Venus in Capricorn have its retrograde and deal with that whole cycle. And now, at the end of this year, Venus is hitting those degrees of 25, 26, doesn't matter what degrees, it's happening. It's happening there. The next stage for this shedding of skin, for this transformative effect to happen, the old habits that need to go. Pluto finds out what needs to go, puts it in your face. It's been retrograde since the end of April. Now it's moving forward. There's no stopping it now. You must walk through the fire, Venus. In your Libra part of your chart, or wherever Venus is in a sense, there's a walking through fire and not going back. Does it mean the end of things? In certain situations, it does. Does it mean it's the end of certain little things and habits that do not work anymore? I'm more about that. Give yourself the chance. Surrender to this process. But at least on this day and the next couple days until the 22nd of October, you're not going to want to surrender. Some people with Venus and Libra and stuff in cardinal signs, they're not going to want it. It's going to be a power struggle. But what is inevitable is coming. And what is that? What is that? You know what? I skipped on a couple things here, but I also want to bring up that Venus here is doing that, but the sun's involved here at 26 degrees. You see this? It's Sun-Pluto square, 26 degrees. Just a couple days before, we had the last quarter, we had Cancer moon and the sun squaring each other, which is the last quarter is the week before a new moon's going to happen. But here we have the sun too is involved in this. So it's sun and Venus. They're together. And it leads to this. Let's just skip over here. Let's just skip. I can go the 19th, but let's just skip over to the day here, because here on October 21st, we have Venus now is at 28 degrees. The sun's at 28. You're like, what's going on here? Virgo moon. It's not quite there yet. It's not past it, but it's in the heart of the sun. The process is happening. What the hell does that mean on October 22nd right here? What's it mean? Pause. It means that you ritualize this. It means that you do whatever it takes on the Saturday to acknowledge that Venus is in a part of a major 16, depending on you do your astrology, 16 to 19th month cycle that she's doing. The morning star, the evening star, the morning star. This has been happening since the beginning of time. And when Venus hits the sun like this, and it's together with the sun, it's like this. It's like Venus comes through the sun and melts her into nothingness, except for its purity. What the hell's Venus's purity anyway? What does Venus really do and want? And what the function is of Venus really? In whatever sign it's flowing in or not flowing in, it seeks harmonization. It comes from a place of love. It comes from that higher, the highest, whatever you want to call this, light that we are all made up of, that we all come from. You don't have to believe in this shit, but I do, and I know many of you know what I'm talking about. The essence of life, which is love in its many forms. And some of those forms are hard. It's the struggle. It's the joy and the sorrow. It's you, human being. Embrace, no matter how hard this transformation is, of Venus losing itself, surrendering to. You saw the setup with Pluto earlier in the week, the setup with Pluto this year, the eclipses that happened at the end of April and May that are in Scorpio and Taurus, ruled by Venus, Scorpio ruled by Mars. These eclipses start to happen again within a couple days on the 25th, 3 days after October 22nd, with Venus moving with the sun. 3 days later, we have an eclipse. And then 2 weeks later, we have another eclipse. There's a lot of letting go here. There's a lot of shifting and change again that's happening. So prepare yourselves if you're watching this before those dates. Get ready. Look at the Libra part of your chart and know that there's a switch up happening there. Look at the Taurus and Scorpio parts of your chart. They're opposite of each other, the polarity of each other. That's where the eclipses are happening. I'm doing a video and I'm working on a video with the eclipse that I'm going to put out here in a couple days. You can watch that. I love you guys. Thanks for the comments on the last video, on the Aries full moon video with Chiron. I really love to hear what you have to say, and I try to acknowledge every single one of your comments. Maybe one day when I got a bunch of people watching and viewers and shit like that, I might not be able to do all that, but I see it all now, and I'm enjoying the process that you're right here with me, and I'm right here with you. And along this journey of me being on this channel, but your journey too. Whether you want to write something in the comments or not, I don't care. If you want to send me a private message, do it. I'm updating my website right now. I got different price plans for sessions and readings. I'm just going for it. I don't want to leave anybody out. So I'll work with you if you need some help. You're down on some cash, we'll figure out the amount of time works for your cash. If you just have something to say it. It's effing free to do something on the comments. What I do know is when that full moon happened with Chiron and Aries, and here we are now to this, the journey's not done, and I'm going all in with my heart. With some protection, and with some stability, and with some smarts. But I'm enjoying this metamorphosis with Venus and the sun, and then the eclipse is coming after that. There's no choice. There's no one going back. And what you really are seeking and what you really want actually might be waiting for you through there. Have courage, my beautiful ones. And remember, I'll see you on the next video.